The 21 Savage says that Nas is no longer relevant, but he has a loyal fan base. That's the only reason people still check for him. Over the years, I've said repeatedly that this happens. And when I saw this, I laughed so hard because it validates and gives me at least one flower on the stuff that I've told y'all about over and over again. When I said the Rolling Stones don't go through this, Eric Clapton don't go through this. This is a hip hop isolated incident from what I see. When people say, "Oh man, he just old. It's just older people. It's his fan base. He's not relevant." And I'm like, no. This mug was, to me, this was way off. Yeah, way off. Like, this is not it. And I've said this over and over again. Only in hip hop do I see this. So I just give me a flower.
It's not all the way true. Back in the day, Nirvana and Metallica had some beef.
That might have been personal.
They had beef with there's been some issues with younger artists and the Rolling Stones.
No. I'm not talking about beef. I'm talking about.
I'm not really talking about beef.
Yeah, I said the wrong word. You're right. I'm not saying beef. I'm talking about any discrepancies. I'm talking about just actually how you're looking at them for their status for where they are. Like, it's old. Like, they just old, and the reason they popular is because they old. Nobody denounces the legendary groups like that in other genres, in my opinion.
Well, kind of, sort of, maybe not as much, but I think it comes down to one of those things where we pay attention to hip hop more.
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, it applies to this too. So it's on our radar. I know it happens in other realms of music too, but it's just not. You know what I'm saying? It's not part of the
culture that we're in or what we follow.
You know what I'm saying? Where maybe it doesn't happen as much. I don't know, but it still happens.
I don't think it happens nearly as much as it happens in the culture of hip hop. That's always been my opinion. I stand on it. I just don't see it. You have to show me multiple examples.
Don't see it exactly.
But I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. You'd have to show me examples to, verify. We can find them for days in hip hop culture. You can just run around the corner and see somebody called Jay-Z and Nas old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to sit down somewhere. That type of verbiage is what I'm talking about. Jay Moore, what are your thoughts, man? Because I've been on this mountain from day one. I'm not jumping off. This just actually validates what I've always said.
Well, no, this is the crazy thing because 21 Savage contradicted himself.
Okay.
In his statement, it was like, "Oh, he's just got a loyal fan base." Well, isn't that what makes you relevant?
Example one, yep.
And
then the other example we said.
What's the other one?
He makes good ass music.
Thank
you. So how do you say that?
I mean, it's like, and the thing is, like, sometimes you can get to running off at the mouth just because, like, okay, you got a number one album that you participated 25% of the time with Drake right now. I said what I said.
Is that your percentage?
It's a Drake album with a couple of 21 Savage verses.
What? I still haven't listened, but that's your percentage?
I listen to the album, so I know what I'm talking about.
All right.
It's a Drake album with, this isn't a 50-50.
Okay.
They
billing it as a joint album.
Yeah, that's what they do. And, you got a lot of times with, it was kind of a subliminal thing because when I posted on my social media about our show tonight, the song I put it under there was Brand Nubians, Don't Let It Go to Your Head. Because the thing is, like, you could be the man today, or you could be the man for a season.
Yeah.
Because this is 21 Savage
or
season.
Or you can get deported tomorrow.
Wow.
Hey, man, in fact, Foreigner's been talking real spicy.
Yeah, man.
Between Drake and 21, we might have to get them folks involved and see what's going on. But
I stay out of grown folks' business.
But in all seriousness, like, just because you are having your season right now, you wake up. I mean, we talked about it with the baby. I don't think it's as extreme as really what a lot of people are making it out to be. You might be getting the 5-star treatment, and everyone loves you right now. But then when it's over, and like, you may not have even done enough. Now, I'm not going to say it's for 21 Savage because he has done a significant amount compared to the other freshmen in his class.
I don't want to see that verses, by the way.
But what I'm saying is, the first time I heard Nas was like 92 when Halftime came out.
Live at the Barbecue.
Oh yeah, so we can go further. So now we're talking about, I can't remember which one. I think Live at Barbecue hit first. So now you're talking about Illmatic came out in 94, but you're talking about Nas being 30 years deep in the game.
He said 30 summers on the album.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
you need to watch your mouth talking about
Boy.
somebody who is still relevant, putting out music that is worth discussing 30 years later. When you once again, you having a nice little run right now, but it doesn't take much for you to wake up one day and it's over, and people are like, oh, remember when we used to listen to 21 Savage?
If anything, Hit Boy Nas is smart to me because he attached himself to a dope up and coming producer, and they made.
Hit Boy been here though.
He has, but I'm talking about for me when I follow producers a lot. I've known of Hit Boy. Right, I've known that he's dope.
You can't call him an up and coming producer.
No. I'm talking about
not somebody who produced on Watch the Throne. You can't be like, oh, he's up and coming.
What I'm saying is, in my opinion, what I think Hit Boy is more of a household name now, post Three Kings of these albums than he was as the guy that made dope beats on Watch the Throne or dope beats on this or dope beats on that. That's what I'm saying.
I can't say that.
I think so. I think he's more of a household name now than he was outside of the heads. Because you always talk about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Outside of the heads, I think he's more household now than he was.
Because there are people, and Nas loses this on the record because you got to listen, like who are still waiting on the Nas and Premier album.
Yeah. I'm one of them.
Because they're, so the fact that it'd be one thing, if he made I don't want to say Zaytoven. Zaytoven's been out here a long time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And you can't. And the thing is, if Nas's lyrics weren't there, it wouldn't matter how good the beats are. Like this is the thing about hip hop. It's not like being a running back in the NFL to where you just wake up one day and you cannot, hit the A gap, anymore because or your ankles go bad. If your mind is still sharp and you're still willing to put in the work and you actually care about lyrics, then like you can do this for 30 years. But there are a lot of people like I said, 21 Savage, it is his season. Shout out to that young brother, but you don't speak on anyone else's relevance with they've been putting in work for 30 years.
The chat is going crazy. Dave said it happens in rock too, as related to what I'm talking about. So
it might be some issues in rock because I know like at one point Poison and Guns N' Roses didn't get along, but it was personal reasons. But you would never tell. I don't think anybody who's like, that'd be like
it's probably swapping STDs.
Wow.
See, I wouldn't go there.
Them thoughts was out there for them, man. They was lining up.
But it'd be like if in the 90s Silverchair or somebody tried to say, yeah, the Rolling Stones, they ain't it no more, and it was like. Silverchair, who are you to say anything about the Rolling Stones?
Billy Ocean don't like Meatloaf, man.
What?
The food, not the artist.
Oh.
And and the thing is, you don't even hear about this in R&B. Like, I wish somebody would be like, man, get New Edition out of here.
I wish somebody would say, get New Edition.
Well, New Edition and Guy actually had a little riff.
Yeah, but they were contemporaries.
Yeah, they're peers.
Yeah,
they're peers.
And they've since figured it out.
What's
because
my boy's
even
name
on the Home Again tour, like New Edition toured with Blackstreet. I mean,
what's my boy's
name? But it was still Teddy Riley.
What's my boy's name that says he's the king of R&B? That just be randomly singing in spots.
Who's Jacquees?
Jacquees. That Jacquees can't be like, man, Usher need to sit down somewhere. Well, while he got a residency in Las Vegas.
And I ain't heard a Jacquees record.
I still ain't. Does he have an album? Terry, you got it?
What album?
Jacquees album. Have you heard?
No, sir.
You got one?
I'm sure he probably does. I just haven't heard it.
Oh, I figured you might have a Jacquees album.
How you figure that, man?
I don't know.
Chill out.
All right. But you get what I'm saying, though. He can't say, man, Usher go sit down somewhere.
No, he can't.
He can't say that.
He can't say Usher's not relevant. He doesn't have a song. Like, this is the thing. A lot of times people measure, do you have a song playing in the club or the strip club, or is it coming out of people's cars right now? It's like, that's not a real measuring. Look, people went to the store to buy Nas's albums.
Exactly.
Like, I've listened to 21 Savage albums because they just go straight to my phone, and I'm not that invested in it. I can like the music, but I was like, I didn't have to go to the store and drop $14.99 on this.
I went to the Wu-Tang concert with Nas, and for me personally, Nas was the headliner.
Okay.
In my personal opinion.
Over Busta?
Busta came out last, and he didn't he's
the best performer.
He's the best overall performer.
Right.
But seeing Nas perform those songs,
that's GOAT level, man.
It hit different to me than hearing Wu-Tang.
I can see
and
that.
I'm a Wu-Tang fan.
So am I.
But I was more of a fan of hearing Nas perform. And then back to the whole 21 Savage thing.
Yeah.
Like he said, he's flying pretty much under the wings of Sassy Drake right now based on that album. So he's feeling himself essentially. But I do like it's not everybody that feels that way from that generation.
I got it.
Because he mentioned 𝗏𝗏 on the album,
which is
𝗏𝗏 was honored. She
as she should be.
He made a post talking about how she was happy that, you know what I'm saying, he shouted her out. Kodak Black said that 21 Savage is tripping and that Nas is cold. What are you talking about?
And Kodak Black, to his credit, was smart enough to know how to make a play on his Kendrick Lamar feature in, narration or whatever you want to call it. I never saw him once say anything sideways. One, because only the goofies were like, man, only thing I listened to on Kendrick's album was Kodak's interludes and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But Kodak wasn't stupid. He was like, nah, I'm going to respect this guy because I know he's legendary. He's one of the all-time greats, and I'm about to eat off the fact that he brought me in on this project that is one of the most discussed projects of the year. I never saw him get out of pocket on that.
Album of the year.
Kodak gonna win a Grammy this year.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And he was smart enough to. I could see he's smart enough to understand the opportunity.
He about to make up for that BET award that he lost,
bro.
Isn't that wild? Kodak Black gonna mess around, not have a BET award, but gonna get a Grammy.
Yeah. And Kendrick threw him a lob, and he slam dunked that mug. If we gonna be honest,
no. If you gonna,
he slam dunked
I mean,
that
it's
mug.
just like, and just kind of bringing it full circle. It's the fact. It's kind of like how you wouldn't expect J. Cole and 21 Savage to make such great music together, but they do.
They do. They mesh.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the whole thing. I have a problem because we've been giving 21 Savage props.
We've been giving him his flowers.
And then he comes out sideways on this mess. It's kind of
Terry just said probably it's been within a month. Terry just said, he was like, man, shout out to 21 Savage. That boy out here rapping. You just said that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
And I tell you, I've talked about, I am a fan of 21 Savage, but the thing is, this is what happens when, and even though like 21's like 29, 30 now.
He's 30.
You don't, like, whenever you put your first record out, I heard actually, I put a comedian told, not me this, but somebody was like, yo, say you're 30 years old when you start doing comedy.
Right.
You know how old you are in the comedy game? You're one.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, like, when you speak to comics who have been into this for 25 years,
right?
You could be close in age, or maybe you're close in success, because maybe
everybody don't do that Eddie Murphy.
Maybe you hit real early, and this person hit late. But if I was say I wanted to start doing comedy, I got out and I did like a fire 30 minutes, and like I'm just known and I'm out here getting this money. If I met somebody like George Wallace, some of y'all know who he is.
He actually has a residency.
If I met George Wallace, I would say, hello, Mr. Wallace.
As you should.
Because this is somebody who has laid the groundwork, who is solidified in
Put
the
some
game.
Respect on it.
And this is what a lot of young rappers, just because so-and-so's not in the same rooms as you, or they don't have the same, they're not on the radio or on the street, in the clubs like you got to understand, if they've been doing this for 15, 20 years, even if you can't feel it, you are to give them respect.
100%. I agree 100%. We just going to call this a L. Just take this one real quick.
21.
We not saying we don't rock with you.
We're just saying, young man, you are no position to say anything about. Look, you are no position to say anything about Nas.
Yeah,
regardless of your success, regardless of you having a number one record.
This man been in the game as long as you've been alive.
Yeah, leave that one alone, bro. Leave that one alone.
21 Savage. Nobody has ever gone. You are young enough to where nobody's ever gone to the store and bought one of your records.
Yeah,
because they're not. Nas at one point 3 or 4 million people would get their check, cash it, you know what I'm saying, get enough money to get in their car, go to the record store, and buy Nas records.
Shout out to my homie Jesse. I met him but we were at the record store buying Stillmatic. I was coming out, he was coming in. I knew exactly what he was copying.
Like I remember
Stillmatic.
I remember I had to make a decision when I Am came out, because it came out the same week as Stakes is High, and I only had enough money for one.
Yeah.
I'm about Stakes is High, but
those are early 90s, mid 90s.
That was 96. I remember I come home from my freshman year of college. I was working at the keys and engraving department at Sears, and like the little Camelot Music was right outside where I was working. And I remember I knew I had to put gas in the car, and have a little money for lunch, so I didn't have enough money to buy 2 CDs.
I paid $25 $6.99 for Wu-Tang Forever, $24.99 for Wu-Tang Forever.
It was 20 something,
26, maybe 24, 26. And I remember my mama was like,
would have been 30 at Best Buy if you didn't buy it the first week.
Yeah, that's why you had to get them. You had to get them CDs the first week.
My mama was like, "How much is that CD?" I said, "Mom, it's like $24.99 or something like that." She said, "How many?"
Your mom had to buy it for you?
No, I had the bread. She was checking me because I was spending my money on the. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just saying, she would have been a cool mom if she bought you Wu-Tang Forever.
I mean, she would have.
You could have. Did you try to say, "But Mom, it's an enhanced CD"?
I tried.
Look at this, Mom. It's got.
I tried. I said, "Mama,
I can put it in the computer. It's almost educational."
I said, "Mom, I can put it in the computer to drive and watch it. They got some extra stuff on it." She was like, "Yeah, all right," but I bought it and I had it in my Discman, and you couldn't tell me nothing.
I had a friend of mine, like, she brought her Wu-Tang Forever from Target and wasn't paying attention, and she hit play. And
Clean
it was like,
version.
"It's Wu mother."
Hey, I bought their first
Wu-Tang
album.
mother.
I got their first album by accident. It was a clean version. I accidentally clicked the clean box on my BMG.
Yeah, you was hurt, weren't you?
Yeah, it was.
It was a lot more kung fu kicks and sword swings and bees.
He said, "Woo." He
had to buy that mug
mother.
twice.